Welcome to Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York, the 2015 IPC Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships. A beautiful day outside, and there you see First Niagara Center, home of the NHL's Buffalo Sabres. And inside Harbor Center, this is a preliminary round match in Group A. It is the third match for both of these teams, and Canada currently with 2 wins out of 2 opportunities. The Czech Republic with a win over Japan in this group 2-1, but they fell to the Norwegians 3-1, and they really need to present the best game that they have in their locker for this one. There you look at the standings in the tournament thus far. The Canadians just coming onto the ice in full red are rearing up and ready to go as they want to put on a little bit of a showcase here already. They have already against the Japanese a 17-0 victory, as it is the American official Kyle Allen to take the lead on this one. Yudakov from Russia, and then Bradshaw from the United States as well in this particular contest. And it will be Corbin Watson in goal again. And there you see those huge victories. Japan, a 17-0 victory, and then over Norway as well, who would definitely be in the medal hunt you would expect in this one. I'm Brent Pope, and joined alongside me is the veteran and also expert in the sport is Taylor Lipsitz. And we look here at the Czechs. It's going to be Vapenka back in goal, isn't it, Taylor? And he missed the second match, played the first, and you wonder if this was a little bit of strategy from Coach Yuri Briza as to how he wanted to put together this lineup and present this Czech team, because they actually pushed the Canadian side pretty close in the Paralympics in Sochi in just over 12 months ago.
Yeah, the Czech Republic team can be a tough team to play against, and Vapenka in net is a big body. He's got a good glove, and he can really challenge shooters, even the best shooters in the world. So the Czechs are definitely going to come trying to give the Canadians a test today and see how they can position themselves for the next round.
Rempel, Dixon, Westlake, Bridges, Bowden, and Corbin Watson. Ken Babby, the head coach, and taking charge of this program since Sochi. As you look at the Czechs in white, Motichka on the blue line as well with Kubesh Geyer. One to watch, number 74, Palat Habel, and Mikhail Vapenka getting the start in goal for the Czechs. They worked hard. They got themselves a victory against Japan. Maybe expected to win that game more comfortably. Briza, though, has been in charge of the squad through that Paralympic cycle and into Sochi and continuing to lead them. And they were expected to really be in the hunt to compete for a medal. And because of keeping it close previously, this is going to be an interesting one as to how it plays out. We've seen that already with a couple teams. The Americans expected to really maybe take it away from the Italians early, but it all depends sometimes on that first goal, doesn't it? And Vapenka will need to be big. He is a big body, and if he can keep the score line tight, it could get interesting here.
The Czechs have played in the bronze medal game of the last 2 World Championships. Unfortunately came up just short and got 4th place in both of them, but they are a team that you would expect to be in contention somewhere in the medal round. Unfortunately, this week it doesn't look like they're going to make that crossover, but seeding still important as it will qualify them for the next World Championships in 2017. So they really need to get something going here, if not a win today, just to get them going for the next round in the crossover matches.
It's a very interesting point, isn't it? How the criteria for the next World Championships is heavily based on how this particular championships does finish out, as Westlake, Bridges are ready, and Bowden. They are the trio that have been on fire for Canada. Watch them as they get started here. We are set and ready to go in Buffalo. The official waiting, the American, and the final seconds down. And ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of anxiety there from both sides. They want to get in. The referee making sure that this is squared up properly, and now we're underway. And these two sides will go at it hammer and tongs. It's Dixon over to Rempel. And if we immediately got a penalty, I'm not sure that the referee was still happy maybe with the playing of that puck. And interesting call here.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that call was. Maybe an offsides call there?
Nonetheless, it's a face-off just outside of the Canadian blue line. And Canada in red, going from right to left. Interesting here, Rempel almost got handcuffed, and that's the difficult part as they're constantly propelling themselves, getting adjusted to the Bridges with a chance here. Look at this feed for Bridges over to Bowden. My goodness. And right out of nowhere, what a feed that was. Almost a blind pass but I got a sense that Billy Bridges knew where Bowden was.
That's as quick as it can happen, and as long as these guys have been playing together, they do know where each other are at all times. They don't have to look. They just know and expect their teammate to be there, and 9 times out of 10, and they guess right.
They're battling in the neutral zone for this puck. We're just over 30 seconds gone in this one. The Czechs are already sprawling to try and keep this Canadian line at bay. They still stay on the ice now. Westlake will take his way and get over to the bench and get a line change. Rempel steps in. Good maneuvering in and around his sled from a distance. Vapenka, and that's an awkward one off the end boards. The way it will bounce out in front. He does a good job, though, with his big body to prevent it going out into the crease area in front of his own goal. And immediately the Canadians now, again, Dorian out there with Delaney putting pressure on this Czech defense. And they desperately would like to score first and get, as we say, that wind in their sails and some confidence for themselves. And they haven't had a real reason to be worrying about offensive confidence in this tournament so far. But maybe over the course of the year, as they have played some of the teams, maybe they haven't had the entire offensive output they would have liked. But they're looking to develop a play here as they come out of their own zone. And across the red line now, Dorian. He's got Delaney on his flank. He will be in first, and Herbeck is under pressure as Delaney will hunt him down. And it's difficult to stop there as Delaney didn't see that the puck had sort of got away from Herbeck. And you see that pressure game play so much of a role in the possession game.
This line specifically has been really good for Canada this week so far. Ben Delaney and Tyler McGregor, two of the younger players on the squad, have just been doing a really good job of using their speed and physicality to forecheck hard, create turnovers, and consequently, this line has had a lot of scoring opportunities and goals.
And there you see the hit by Delaney, the referee right on it, no penalty on the play, and it looked a little bit like he arrived late on the scene. It is lofted out into the neutral zone. That's a good clearance from the Czech Republic, and back Canada will go. Arsenault to pick it up, and they've line changed a couple times, have Canada so far. Now the Czechs from a distance, that'll be long and past the goal, and it'll go for icing. And these opening stages, as the teams do get a feel for each other, is interesting just to see the complexion of the game and how it develops.
Yeah, Czech's doing a good job right now, kind of keeping the Canadians to the outside. But here we see that no-look pass from Billy Bridges to Brad Bowden. And 2 Czech defenders on him really quick there. It's probably saved a goal, but just you talk about that chemistry of that top line, and there's only a couple other lines in the world that, you know, you see that by.
Vapenka has, well, he started in that opener, and then against the Norwegians, he was pulled in favor of Matuszek. And then Matuszek actually playing as well in their second match up against the Japanese. The interesting part now is whether it is a decision for Briza. Here's a dangerous spot in front. And we might say it from here that we think Vapenka might be the preferred option, but this will be interesting as Canada develops, and they'll just get it out, but it is with a little bit of a heavy hand as it goes down the ice. And again, an icing call against the Czech Republic and a face-off in their zone.
Yeah, we see the Czechs here really trying to clog up the middle. You see Matuszka get in there just in time to block the shot on Greg Westlake, get his sled just in front of the puck, help Vapenka out a little bit there.
Some good work by the Czechs as they collapse in front of their own goal. And now Sorley is out there. We've also got Block. Block will take this face-off. Rempel down into the corner. It's in behind this goal, and Vapenka trying to keep an eye on things. Oh, and it goes right under his sled, and that's the difficult part. He uses that long body, he has his leg out to try and prevent access so that he's tight to the post, because what ends up happening is actually his back to the post is never as tight and totally sealed off. And then he allows access underneath his sled, and nonetheless, Geyer out, and Geyer has scored 3 goals in this tournament, and that is the entire output from the Czechs this far as they will move it across. This is Dixon. Dixon actually just lets it go. It gets off his stick. Havel just putting it back in an area, forcing this defense to have to work again to get themselves moving forward. Dixon now, good little job. Dixon, he is just in and out and cleverly found a route to get up to Sholomicki, and Sholomicki can't quite take that in tow. And that's one of the things that's really obvious, is when to give a player a pass while they're trying to propel themselves. Obviously in stand-up hockey, the players are doing all of the work with their legs and their hands are free. But here in ice sledge hockey, all the work with the arms, and then they also got to receive the puck at the same time too. So a lot going on. That's
one of the things that makes the sport so dynamic, is you are using both hands to skate, pass, shoot, and also protect yourself from a guy trying to take your head off.
And there was a good opportunity from Canada, but really the puck just popping up, and they don't really get as much from what looked to be a golden opportunity to take it forward. And the battle and the physicality continues in this first opening 5 minutes. And right now the Czechs must be feeling decent. They have been able to, for the most, keep the Canadians in check, as now this unit again, as McGregor is out here, Delaney, and this is Dorian late into the play. And they are doing a good job, though, the Czech Republic. And Motichka goes right up and over, but he stays with Delaney.
Delaney doing a good job of battling along the boards there. We talk so much about how the games are won and lost in the trenches on the boards. And he's doing a good job, and he's been doing a good job all week.
Whitson down low. Nice little spin from Delaney here. He'll roll towards the net if he's given some room. He feeds it out in front. But again, the big body of Vapenka and Canada with the majority of pressure in this opening sequence here, and a little bit of gamesmanship going on in the crease area. Scoreless at Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York. You're watching the 2015 IPC Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships. There's going to be a penalty coming up on the play, and the Czechs look like they're going to have a power play coming up. And this is the play. Delaney getting penalized there. He ends up knocking the Czech defender into the actual goaltender. And because it's probably a little bit late and off of the play as far as off of the puck and pursuing the puck, it's just seen as a little bit of extra, and he gets a roughing call.
Yeah, Coach Ken Babby's not going to be happy with that. Really no need for it. The play had been over for already about 10 seconds. So just a little mental mistake by a young player trying to, control his passion and aggression a little bit down there in the crease.
So the face-off to the left of Corbin Watson. He hasn't seen a lot of activity in his time in the Canadian goal in his tournament. The Czechs, though, have not been effective on the power play. All it takes is one look, though, and one goal, and boy, would that really set the table and the tone on this one if they're able to score in the power play. Down it will go. Vapenka, and even that's a dangerous shot because it's coming with some pretty good force, and getting that stick down and making sure you can control it so it doesn't bounce away from you.
One of the things that makes Adam Dixon such a tough player to play against is he shot that from almost behind his net all the way down, right down the middle on Vapenka down there. He's definitely got to be on his toes and control that rebound, and you never know how it can bounce.
The Canadians are capable of scoring shorthanded. And Raul is up in the right wing here. Big body contact, and you really are seeing, you hear the applause in recognition of that net. That's up off the glass, and even that's a very powerful clearance from Dixon to get it up off the glass and have it ride right out of play. But this is the check that people were responding to, and it's McGregor coming right across, and particularly right there in front of the Canadian bench, and they enjoy that brand of hockey, and at the moment probably playing that a little bit more than they have in the games thus far.
It's a key feature of Canada's approach to hockey in general, and definitely the Sledge program is they're very physical, and they want to send a message to teams early on that they're going to play hard, and they want to make sure the other team's always looking over their shoulders every time they touch the puck.
Fun to watch when you see Dixon just putting that down the ice. It's almost kind of mesmerizing to watch the flight of the puck travel, and then the angle is perfect where it bounced out in front of the Vapenka, and anything could happen. But here goes Bowden. Bowden is going straight up against Motichka here. He's going to slow on the brakes, and then Geyer comes back, and you see 4 Czech players respond to the urgency of Bowden and what he could have created there in that situation, even shorthanded. Geyer, from a distance, will send it into the corner. It's a good play, actually, but Havel's got to pick that up. First time of asking is Rempel now. He's just going to get in there and jam things, but the Czechs get it back. Good work here by the Czech Republic. In front, this is going to be dangerous. And nice job by Corbin Watson, almost just to throw the stick out there, and almost kind of threw that out like a tongue and wrapped it right up quickly and into his possession. Pulled
the rebound right into himself so that they didn't get any chances there, but a good job by the Czechs working the puck down low. Unfortunately, he could have used his left hand to maybe be able to control that a little bit better and try to, instead of waiting for it to come under his sled, to his right hand, but good pressure from the Czechs here on the power play.
Certainly, and they are now trying to battle for it. They do get it back on their stick, and Raul will just load it off to Shafranek. the captain. This is good work from the Czechs. They look more comfortable on the puck. It actually seem like they feel confident in the way they match up against the Canadians. Just seeing it in their movement in general. The seconds are counting down on this penalty. And taken to Delaney. Delaney a moment away. Ben Delaney, he's back on the ice now, so 5-on-5. But you can sort of sense that just from watching it and even from the performances that they had at the Paralympics in Sochi. The Czechs aren't afraid of playing these Canadians straight up.
They're doing very well right now. Even on this 5-on-5 action we're seeing, putting good pressure on the Canadian defense, causing some turnovers. Safranek really giving Whitson a hard time back there.
Canada will get it, and this line, here's Westlake immediately under pressure, and we have seen this line offensively dominant, but we have not seen this line pinned in their own defensive zone much in this tournament, and that is kind of ultimately where the tournament will be won and lost, as they turn it right over Krapicka. And Krapicka almost takes it, and it's an uncertain-looking Canada as they try to come out of their own zone here on this play.
The dangerous thing, though, is you think you have them back on their heels for just a second. It only takes a blink of an eye. You know, a good pass from Westlake to Bridges or Bowden, and the puck can end up in the back of the net. So the Czechs really have to maintain this pressure and realize that that's why they're having success right now, is having those forecheckers in on the Canadian defense quick.
It's a great defensive play there, even Geyer, to match Westlake, not allow him to come across the line offensively into the Czech zone. And there you look at the faceoffs. Canada have been dominant on the faceoffs in the tournament thus far. But it's all about what's going to happen here in this game, as it is entirely in the balance early, as it was even when we talk about the Americans taking on the Italians. And these are these kind of games that can get a little ticklish the longer it goes with the favored team not producing the offense, as Canada is expected in this one to be able to take care of business. But at the moment, 6:22 remaining, we are scoreless in Buffalo at these IPC Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships, in a fabulous facility, a great week of hockey, and being alongside Taylor Lipset, certainly learning a lot. Hopefully you are, wherever you're watching in the world too, as the sport of ice sledge hockey continues to emerge and grow in prominence for those that haven't seen much of it before. Well, it's a real spectacle. Keep tuned, as the Canadians in red coming back, and they've been able to draw a penalty now, the Czechs. The Canadians, again, going to go to the penalty box, and this bodes well for the Czechs with another opportunity on the power play.
Yeah, they created some good sustained pressure on the last power play. Only 1 or 2 shots on net, but if they can get it going again and possibly find some better looks, get someone in front of the net, use the defense, or go to put the puck on Michael Geyer's stick, you never know what can happen.
Comparatively, if you look at how the Americans have performed so far in this tournament, the one thing that's noticeable at the moment is the possession from Canada, and keeping it under control and putting the passes together has been a little bit disjointed in this particular game in the way it has started. But it is a start only, it is scoreless only, and Canada are equally dangerous on the penalty kill, but the Czech Republic will get another opportunity, and there you see in the penalty box what the Canadian forward thinks of that call. Upended and immediately right back. The Czechs a bridge too far, and they get penalized. And the biggest sort of impact on this game so far is the American official calling a number of penalties.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have an interference penalty on Herbeck here, right off of the face-off. He's just trying to set a little pick and roll, but a little too aggressive. It's an obvious interference call right there. Negated a good power play opportunity for the Czechs there. And now the ice is going to be opened up with Greg Westlake and Brad Bowden for the Canadians. Really going to have a lot of room to work with here, and we've seen how dangerous they can be.
Interesting for Canada, they go with 2 forwards and 2 defense on this particular alignment, rather than having Bridges out on the ice as well. Bridges and Bowden and Westlake have been 1, 2, and 3 in this tournament scoring thus far. But it's about also equally legislating for the Czechs, who could go on the break too. They need to be respected, and so does Michal Geyer. And Geyer is a guy who can go if given half an opportunity. As you look there at Adam Dixon, he's one that can make something happen from the blue line. That is the goal scorer, all 3 of them so far for the Czech Republic. As we look at Michal Geyer, he has scored from a distance, he scores on the breakaway, and said all he needs is really half a chance, and he can create it by himself if he gets into a race with the opposing players. Havel is working to get it back and under control on the boards on that side. Up and over and lofted, and this is Geyer. Geyer trying to get clear, and he's putting pressure on his Canadian defense. He gets the puck before it becomes an icing. That's exactly what we're talking about. Mikael Geyer out front. Havel, dangerous play, and he really could have done more with it. That's a window of opportunity that the Czechs, if the Canadians are able to convert here, will really rue that miss.
Great job by the Czechs to create that chance. Again, Michael Geyer doing all the work down low to create that turnover. Beautiful feed out front, but Havel just couldn't corral it. But doing a good job here on the Canadians, pinning them in their zone a little bit, creating turnovers.
Dixon will take it, and he had Shafranek come driving in on him. Shafranek, a good job to get back, but it's actually fallen favorably for the Canadian D-man to get it in the zone. And very interesting early stages, and we've moved past the 10-minute mark in this first period. Out front, Bridges was just about to go to the right to the left, and he has it just pool cued right away from him, and his pocket picked. And it really is interesting to see how confident the Czechs are to match up against these Canadians, as the Canadians have been really, as we say. Here's Bridges though in front, danger, and they score on the backhand. He gets around the end and he lofts it over Vapenka, and that is an important goal in the momentum of this hockey game.
That was huge. The Czechs have been doing such a good job of keeping everything to the outside. But you'll see Billy Bridges right here just be very patient and calm. No one puts a body on him. Michael Vapenka commits down low. Billy waits an extra second and just backhands it right over the top.
The power of Billy Bridges to, on the backhand and the flick of the wrist, to be able to elevate it. And there you see his 6th goal of this tournament. To get it over Vapenka, to wait, and particularly his body and the force taking away from the net. There's a lot of power there as you look at Jiri Briza on the Czech bench chatting with his team. And that is a very pivotal goal you expect in this hockey game. It all depends on how it plays from here, but Canada desperately wanted to get on the board first. As Bowden and Westlake will continue to come. They have room, 4-on-4. Westlake getting around the end, Bowden in front, and Vapenka is able to make the save. He goes back and makes sure to try to tidy up. And the official is calling a penalty shot, is he? And he's got the hands up, and he's maybe thinking that Berger grabbed it in the crease area with his hand actually on the puck.
He's saying that Berger covered the puck, and he was covering it because Vapenka lost it, and he knew Greg Westlake was coming in. You can't do that in the crease area, and it does look like possibly Westlake's going to take this penalty shot.
Well, it's the first time that we've seen that in this tournament. Let's watch it again. Westlake comes in, and he puts the pressure on Vapenka. It's rolling around. Nobody knows where it is, and Berger there, and the referee has a look at it. He is in the perfect position. He actually sees that Berger will place his hand on that puck to make certain that it doesn't crawl across the line behind Vapenka. And we've got a penalty shot here. This is some fun. More fun for Canada. They score a huge moment, and the Czechs can deny him. This is Westlake, who's been sitting atop of the tournament scoring lead all alone, coming in against Vapenka. And a breakaway. He'll look to the forehand. Oh my! And he shoots it hard, but it's wide. And it'll be a dead puck, and we'll resume play off a face-off. And that may also be a momentum shifter.
Yeah, that's huge for the Czechs to avoid going another goal down there. And a lot of that is because of Vapenka's size, and he comes out to the top of the crease to really challenge Westlake and cut down those angles. Westlake would have had to have been perfect and put it top shelf on the glove side and just forced it outside.
And a moment of truth potentially there. Still with 4-on-4 to go, and back onto the ice in a moment, a couple seconds, Kevin Sorley. And wonder whether or not that will play a part in the eventual outcome of this one. An opportunity for Canada to go up by 2, and they don't score on a penalty shot. And now they are scrambling to get possession again. Both sides now 5-on-5. We're inside of 4 minutes remaining of this first period. And a very interesting cocktail of hockey momentum, really, in many ways, as both of these teams. And you would say, if you were a betting man coming in, it's expected that Canada are favored in this game. But right now, it's just one shot the difference. Canada over the Czech Republic. You're watching the IPC Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships from Buffalo, New York. That is Corbin Watson in the Canadian goal, and we just saw an image of Mikhail Vapenka as the shots in this hockey game. Canada 5-1 the advantage at the moment. The 1-0 score line is the difference in Canada with the only hockey chances, the scoring chances really in that sequence. As this is immediately McGregor is in on this play. Good body contact out front. A loose puck opportunity for Dorian to get in. And the Czechs will just see it out, but they can't get it out. They try to move it up, and it's Shafranek who was the intended recipient. And again, those turnovers inside the blue line are painful. Will it be costly, though, for the Czechs, as they really do everything they can to smother this play and to stop the momentum of the Canadians offensively, trying to cycle out of the corners.
You're seeing the quickness of this line really cause a lot of problems for the Czechs right here. Dorian all over the place. McGregor, Delaney just putting a lot of physical pressure on the Czech defense. They're just trying to flail and throw it around just to get it out and give themselves some breathing space.
Another penalty coming, and it is going to be against the Czechs. And one more time, I think that's Adam Dixon steps in, and a little bit of a screen preventing him to get to what was a 50-50 puck. And off they'll go to the penalty box. Zdeněk Kropička will take a seat for 2 minutes or less. And with 2:52 remaining in this opening period, a crucial change here in the access.
These are the kind of penalties that you see when a team just can't stack up with the speed of their opponent. And right now, the Canadians just out skating the Czechs, and unfortunately, they're taking one after another. Lazy penalties is what most coaches refer to them as.
Riza looking on, obviously with interest and a hint of concern as well. His team has already defended. His goaltender has a penalty shot as taken by Greg Westlake, and he the captain. And you would have really bet that he could have got that and converted it. He doesn't. They have a subsequent power play not a minute or so later, and should be able to control the majority of the offensive zone possession throughout the rest of this first period. But the power play conversion is key for Canada, because you don't want to get wasteful with the opportunities that you do have. As Bridges now comes across the line, he's looking to see whether Westlake's open. They take him away. It's a scramble right across the face of goal. Westlake will get to it first. Canada will bump it back to the blue line. Dixon is the man who will quarterback the power play. He takes it right to the middle of the ice and draws a couple defenders with him, and then he'll move it back down low here. And Bridges doesn't take it cleanly at first touch. Lays it back to Dixon. Dixon waits. He might shoot from there. He loads it off the bow. Shot there. It's a good one. Even better save, though, by Vapenka.
Great save by Mikhail Vapenka right there. You see how patient the Canadians are, working the top of the zone, just waiting for a lane to open up. You'll see Dixon just, look at the patience. Two guys coming at him, just waits and waits, and then passes it right off to Bowden for a quick shot. Good save by Vapenka.
It is, and Vapenka looks very comfortable. And as we talk about Brad Bowden, who has been outstanding offensively thus far, it's all about this game, though. Those are all in the bank, and it's just put the Canadians in a position here to potentially go undefeated in the preliminary round, or is there a potential upset on the cards? Bowden is now looking just to move it left to right. He can't connect the pass with Bridges. Westlake, this is McGregor, and Bridges trying to come up with it. Westlake back to the blue line, and Dixon. So they do have 4 players, offensive players, and just the one defender on it. Shot through, and it is going to be a save by Vapenka, and it goes through the body of McGregor. And almost fortunate, really, for the Czechs that it didn't catch a different deflection and end up right in the back of goal.
That was a shot that was meant for a deflection, and Tyler McGregor right in front of the crease trying to get something on it. That's one of his roles on the power play here, is to camp out in front of the net and try to get something on those low shots. Just wasn't able to get a stick down in time, but he doesn't mind sitting in the crease or right above the crease and taking some abuse from the defenseman to try to get one of those chances.
It's a great seeing eye puck from Bridges to get that shot in and to make sure it gets the goal. And it had to go through, as you see, a number of bodies and travel through. Delaney, though, this is threatening now. Vapenka bats it down, collapsing the Czech defense in front of goal. Can they get there to get it out? It is up, and it goes out of play. And a good job by the Czechs just to take the sting out of that momentum sequence there generated by the Canadians. That was Geyer, and he has got to be one of the fastest players in the world to be able to get and close down these shots and to close down any opportunity that he has had. He's got 3 goals, 8 shots in the tournament. You give him half a sniff, he is a danger man, but he's in a defensive situation here, and he has done the job and has helped his team. They're going to break the back of this power play. They're inside of a minute of this first period, and coming back out onto the ice is Motichka. Great job by the Czech Republic as Delaney is the first one to this puck as they're back to 5-on-5.
You can see Delaney just use the boards to kind of shield himself from that check. He still maintains control of the puck. He's going for the wraparound, it might look like.
And he's going to the backhand. It was on the ice. Berger coming across, and Berger was the one who put the hand on the puck that led to the penalty shot. It didn't end up being a painful result, though, for the Czech Republic, but maybe this one will. Dorian, he's got an option down low, right out front, trying to redirect it, still scrambling. Vapenka is down, and he cuts off the opportunity. Delaney trying to scoop it back against the grain, and a great focus from Mikhail Vapenka to keep the sheet at just 1 goal for Canada at the moment.
That's a tough play for Vapenka to make. You see him commit one way and then have to come all the way back over to make that save on Delaney. It's great movement or lateral movement by Vapenka to be able to get from one side to the other that quick.
He looks comfortable. He's just getting his sights locked in. And there you see it's just a very focused look on Vapenka's face. And he really enjoys the challenge of playing against one of the top nations in the world, Canada. And the more saves he makes, the more comfortable he looks as the puck will then get out of the offensive zone all the way back to the blue line. And it is Canada late, not wanting to take a penalty, want to keep possession. And Westlake will just retreat and turn back and be safe with control of this puck. And that will be the end of the first period. And a decent first period, though, for Canada. But did they leave a little bit on the table still?
Yeah, we'll see what kind of adjustments they make when they come out for the second period. But like you said, decent first period for Canada. I would say that was a pretty good first period for the Czech Republic team. They came out, minimized the chances, didn't give a lot up. And Vapenka, again, big in net for Czech Republic.
A different looking hockey game than ones we have seen before. After 15 minutes of play, Canada are leading the Czech Republic in Group A 1-0. Welcome back to Buffalo, New York, and you are watching the Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships here. Canada and the Czech Republic are in a tight one after 15 minutes of play, and we're getting ourselves ready for the second period. As we look back on the first period, Taylor, and really Canada in control, the scoreline maybe not entirely reflecting at the moment.
Not a whole lot going on, but still dominated mostly by Canada. 1-0 is the score. 8-1 in shots in favor of Canada, and 6-0 for the scoring chances. So definitely dominated by Canada, but they just don't seem to have a lot going on right now. The Czechs are playing good defense, applying good pressure and being really physical with the Canadians. So there hasn't been a lot going on, but still dominated by Canada overall.
These are some of the highlights in that period there. Bowden going in, and at the time thought maybe that was going to be a chance. Vapenka, though, very strong for the Czech Republic, and so is Corbin Watson. Watson not having a whole lot of activity other than this looked to be the best opportunity. I still don't know if Havel had got it, whether you'd have got it underneath Watson. This is a great play, though, by Bridges, and that's just a moment of brilliance and strength to be able to, that's good man strength, isn't it, to get it up with Vapenka.
Exactly, and being patient. He just waits until Vapenka commits one way or the other, and as soon as he drops down, he puts it right up over the glove, backhanded.
And we had a penalty shot in that first period. Captain Greg Westlake takes it, and he ends up missing it. You hear the snap of the puck going off the glass, and that was interesting. Our first look at a penalty shot in these World Championships.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the correct call. I think the referee said that a defenseman had covered the puck in the crease, but I don't think it was in the crease, so maybe should have just been a delayed of a game penalty, but since he ended up missing it, the Czechs probably don't mind that the penalty shot was called.
And there is the Bridges goal, assisted by McGregor. And if you're just tuning in, or you've been watching throughout the entirety of the week, it's a golden opportunity for all of us wanting to know more about the sport of ice sledge hockey to actually ask Taylor himself here. And Taylor offering the expert color commentary this week, and twice a world champion himself, also twice a gold medal Paralympian in the sport of ice sledge hockey. And why not tweet in at US Sled Sniper 7, that's USA SLED SNIPER 7, the number 7, and ask Taylor what you'd like to know about this sport, because it's great to watch it wherever you are in the world, but it's even better to get inside the mind of one of those who has been there at the top level of the sport. Fascinating game, and just like stand-up hockey, if you're looking at it, obviously the noticeable difference is the sled, and very interesting to look at Corbin Watson there, and we are counting down. Bridges up against Havel. Havel, a great opportunity in that first period. Bridges, though, he converted his as he continues to help lead his side from the front as he sits amongst his line mates right at the top of the tournament scoring here at these World Championships in Buffalo. Set and ready to go in the second period and underway as Bridges will battle for it. It will get away from him quickly, though. Kubish and the Czechs, it's one thing that was very noticeable, and I'm sure for yourself as well, Taylor, in the first period. There's a good shot in. Why not? It's just how well these Czechs feel like they match up against the Canadians.
Seems like they've stepped their game up a little bit and kind of found a second gear as far as their speed, because they do look like they're keeping up fairly well with the Canadians, and they're being really physical, which is usually Canada's game, but like you said, they're looking like they match up pretty well, and they're giving the Canadians some fits.
Palat will just break up that potential breakout. And now, though, this is the 3, the danger 3. Coming back into play as Geyer trying to make it a 3-on-3 rather than the what looked to be an odd man break originally. And a little bit of a disjointed breakout there, which we've not seen so far from Canada.
Well, it looked like that was actually a chance for a good 3-on-2 opportunity, and just a pass right up behind Bowden. He couldn't find the puck, and eventually a turnover, and the Czechs are back down in the Canadian zone.
It's small things, but puck support and being able to make short passes sometimes, rather than always looking for a wide side pass. It's so difficult, as we've mentioned before, to not only for these players to propel themselves with their arms to get moving, but then to receive the puck as well. So you need to just make those short plays and keep it simple.
It's very dynamic, and you have to be, ready for a pass or to take a shot at all times. And like you said, you're using both hands 100% of the time, whether it's to skate, to pass, receive a pass, or shoot. So definitely some very talented athletes out here.
McGregor trying to get in a position. He's matched well. Herbeck does a good job to mirror him. This is Delaney. He's got Dorian in front, but he can't see exactly how he wants to get it there. McGregor, and they'll work and try to grind it out of this corner, Canada. This is a very workmanlike line for them. Out front to Dorian. Dorian can't get it clean, but he gets a decent shot off. Vapenka turned around, and theirs is coming out the short side, and immediately Herbeck will get there. Good patience, he's upended, there's going to be a penalty taken against him, and we've seen that little bit of niggle come into the game today in game day 3 amongst a few of these sides who've been sitting here watching and competing against each other all week, and now it's getting a little bit to that point where I'm not sure if teams are getting a little bit tired or they're just trying to find a way to create an advantage.
Yeah, people are starting to get a little bit chippy and just trying to, put forth a little extra effort, not always legal, to get control of the puck. And a lot of it can also be some frustration. The Canadians were expected to not necessarily blow out the Czech Republic, but to be able to handle them fairly easily. And it's only 1-0, and we're 2 minutes into the second period, so maybe a little frustration on part of the Canadians here.
Looking on to the Canadian bench, and it'll be interesting to watch the body language of the coaching staff as Pallant now will get collection of this puck, and it is a very different pressure, isn't it, when you're expected to do well and it's not maybe going as easily as you would like. It is difficult to manage sometimes. Kubic down low. This is Geyer. Geyer is a danger man, and this is as good an opportunity as the Czechs will have, as they have been overdue in the power play so far in this hockey game. They've got a third chance, though, just inside this second period. They'll move it around. That there is a careless mistake and just a little bit of miscommunication, and they will get on the stick, the Canadians, and watch that. That's a good effort right of Vapenka, and he's got to put his sled down there, and you almost got to be careful to go underneath the sled as he kicks his leg out. Yeah,
definitely a dangerous play because you never know what kind of balance the puck's going to take. That's why coaches always say put it on the net because you never know what can happen.
It's a good play by Westlake to track his player back, and now we're seeing this offensive line in more of a defensive duty for Canada as Bowden will come out with Kieran Block, and so a little bit of an adjustment with the line changes and trying to get a little bit of a different approach to the second period for Canada.
Yeah, maybe Ken Babby just juggling the lines a little bit here, trying to get the team going. We kind of saw a similar thing with the Americans early against Italy, where they were expected to handle the Italians fairly easily in the first couple periods. It took them a bit to get going, so Ken Babby just trying to get his guys going here.
Kieran Block is just holding this puck in the offensive zone. It's a great place to play defense if you're in control of it. He's 1 against 3. He tries to feed Bowden. A little bit ambitious in order to achieve that play, but he's done a great job at taking valuable time off the clock, creating confusion. And they almost create enough for Bowden to jump onto it. And Bowden's doing a good job with his speed, just tormenting this defense. And the Czechs really disoriented now.
You see how much trouble Bowden's causing with his speed and agility, just pinning the Czechs in their own end on this power play. They had 1 or 2 good chances, but since then they've just been stuck down here a little bit.
5-on-5, back onto the ice. It will go all the way down, but Corbin Watson will just sort of knock it away to the corner. It's safely there. It arrives onto a Canadian stick. Now they're coming to the neutral zone, but they haven't got a lot of speed as they come to the neutral zone. And the Czechs are doing a great job at tracking back and making sure there isn't a whole lot of room. This is Delaney, though, coming across this line. He's got Dorian who'll go to the net. He's got McGregor in behind him, but he's also got 2 Czech defenders in which to work around as well. And there's nothing easy about that as the Sleds get in the way. McGregor is battling with Rawl. I think they're locked horns. Delaney is going to come out the other side. Out front, he's trying to get it to Dorian, and that was a good opportunity, but blocked again by a very sturdy and dependable Czech defense.
Great defensive coverage by the Czechs there. You saw Delaney covered by one guy. The Canadian player trailing Delaney also had a Czech defender on him, and then we saw Dorian driving the net, who was also being blocked out by Berger. So great defensive coverage by the Czechs on that back check.
Good twisting and turning from Delaney in the corner. He's made some room for himself. He'll shoot from there. It's off the outside of the netting, and as good a chance as Canada's had in the second period.
Yeah, that's just good work down in the trenches there, like you talk about, behind the net, in the corners. He got it out to Mark Dorian and had a good quality shot, but just couldn't get a lot on it to get it over Vapenka.
That's cut off by Whitson, and he howitzer from the blue line. He steps in, and it goes off the far glass, but Vapenka had to get the stick up there, but that had some heat on it. As Bowden now has it for Canada. He'll offload it here. This is Delaney still on the shifter. Bridges now 18, and this is the dynamic trio for Canada. They'll look to create some momentum here, and all of a sudden, the pace has gone up a bit.
Without a doubt. You put that #1 line for the Canadians out there. There's been a lot of specialty teams going on throughout the game, so we haven't seen them together very much, but they're dangerous right here.
They're trying to feed it through as Westlake on the backside They're doing a great job of blocking those passing lanes. Are the Czechs. Westlake backside. Bridges will get it to him. That is a tremendous play. The power to loft it on the backhand with the wrist. You saw it on the goal bound. What a shot. And Vapenka punches it out. Dixon right onto a 2. And this is a moment here where the Czechs, if they can break the back of this offensive thrust, will get more confidence.
Yeah, if they can get the puck out here, just if it's chipping it out of the zone, just so they can regain their breath and composure a bit, it'll be a huge hurdle.
They keep it in though. Rempel, a shot. Geyer tries to get to it. It goes off of his sled into the corner. Westlake though, beaten to the puck. Berger does a great job, and they'll get some time. It's a tough change for the Czechs to make. They got a long ways to go in the second period. They do get 3 players off the ice, 4 come off the ice, and 4 new fresh skaters, but they've got room now, Canada. Block, and that's a great play by Habel to take block right off the puck.
Great back check coming off the bench for Habel, preventing a possible scoring chance there, but Canada right back in the zone, controlling the puck. And they'll see what they can generate here with their third line.
Sholomicki, who's got a lot of speed, will come in and play the body. That is a huge hit as he just rumbles over Herbuck, and like a freight train, he leaves his mark on the Czech defender, and that was as good a hit as we have seen in this tournament.
Good clean hit. Physicality, a huge part of the sledge hockey game. Now we see a stretch pass over. This might be problems.
Geyer on the outside. He'd prefer to be on the inside. He's a right-handed shot coming down left wing. Good angle from Dixon. Dixon could feed it up here, and they will. Sorley will try to skate onto this here. He needs some support. It gets away from him, and Herbuck will just defend his lines and make certain that it is out into an area. Sholomicki turning and creating some energy for this Canadian lineup here on the ship. They'll keep it, and in it will go once again, but Czech Republic, good for their money right now in holding the scoreline at 1.
Yeah, possibly surprising a lot of people right now with their style of play, the speed and physicality to match the Canadians right here. A great feed up the ice.
Habel is trying to find that puck, and it's elusive as it's coming from behind, and he's just trying to wait for it to arrive. They break that play down. Canada looking to collect it, and they have to be sturdy. That's a turnover. Kropicka gets in the lane, and now this is disruptive work from the Czechs. As the longer they can make this more difficult, that goes right on by. And a little bit of a moment of uncertainty there as the defenseman uncertain as to whether he should touch it or just allow the goaltender to see it through.
Shafranek doing a good job getting it back to his point man. The Czech Republic doing a good job just creating sustained pressure. You haven't seen a lot of sustained pressure, but they're working both sides of the ice, going from corner to corner, using their D-men. This is a good look of Czech Republic right now.
They look more purposeful more than anything here, like they've got a plan, and that actually their confidence in how they're playing is not a fluke. In fact, they believe that they can push this game and take it right to the distance and make something happen here. It is going to be Whitson deep into the corner, forcing a Canadian change. Changes as well for the Czech Republic. A new line now coming out. It's the dynamic trio as they come on. Westlake, Bridges, Bowden. But even they today have had difficulty breaking down the Czech defense.
This is the Czech team that we've seen play in the last 2 bronze medal games at the previous 2 World Championships. This is how they can play. This is how they expect themselves to play. And maybe a little bit of a disappointment earlier in the week when they lost in Norway. But if they keep this up, you never know what can happen.
It is getting interesting as this game marches down to 5 minutes remaining in the second period. It's still just a one shot in it. Dixon now with some room. He'll leave it for Westlake. Westlake could shoot from there. He can't though. There's no shooting lane. Geyer just bumps him off the puck and physically matches him.
Good play by Geyer to put a body on him. Clean hit, shoulder to shoulder. Dislodged the puck and prevented a good scoring chance.
They get onto it though, the Czechs, and they make a play. It's out and into the neutral zone again, buying themselves some time. The shot advantage 11-1 for Canada in this game thus far. It is just the 1 goal on the board, and that's all that matters. Canada taking a while to get the puck across the offensive blue line. They do, and then Geyer just takes it right off the stick. Look at this little bit of confidence as they overlap in the end around and then try to complete a play right out into the neutral zone. But Canada will dump it back in, and it is really becoming a game of who can make the least mistakes now.
And who can capitalize on those mistakes. And we have one here from the Czech Republic. Oh, they recovered. That's good. But exactly, the coaches are going to tell the players that hockey is a game of mistakes, and whoever capitalizes on the most of the mistakes is usually the team that wins.
Sorty comes in, he's high. Oh, he's going to get penalized though for it. His hand comes up, isn't it? He's in a good position. He just lunges a little too far away, and he's going to get a penalty. And again, a fourth opportunity now for the Czechs to go on the power play, and pressure being put on this Canadian defense now.
We can see he comes in and just the elbow up in the head area, just a little bit there. And the Czechs have done a good job on the previous power plays of getting some pressure in the Canadian zone and putting at least one shot on the net. So they'll look to get something going here and ride the momentum that they've created in the second period and try to get a shot on goal and maybe a good scoring chance here.
Kevin Sorley will get an elbowing penalty, and the Czech power play for the fourth time in his hockey game will be in employment. They have a face-off to the left of Corbin Watson. He looks out, and to the right as we look in, Jiří Bríza, the coach for the Czech Republic, he knows that this could be the moment that changes everything in this game and potentially in this tournament for the Czechs. They will go in 3 players against 2 Canadian defenders, trying to make sure they outnumber the Canadians all the time. They are on the power play. It is right there in the trenches. Pallet will come out of it, and he has the puck, holding it, and just trying to outweight the defense. This is Billy Bridges, though, who will whack it. He doesn't get all of it, though. And Habel will chase it down as it doesn't get far. And stepping in now, Jerry Berger from the outside. It goes across the face of goal. Herbeck will keep it in on the other side now for the Czech Republic. Down low. And these are precious moments. Geyer tries to get a stab on it. Quickly, though, Bridges gets his stick in the way. Down low here, Pallet. This looks promising. Outside to Habel. There it is. And he just whistles one by the left side. And you hear the thud against the end boards. The Czechs are right on the edge right now, picked off by Westlake. He's got to get himself going and down the ice, and a moment to breathe for Canadians.
Unbelievable opportunity there for Habel, just putting the puck wide of the net. But great puck movement in the Canadian zone for the Czechs right here. That was a good-looking power play.
Berger is being watched closely, and the only forechecker on this penalty kill is Dorian, and he's pretty well got 3 or 4 Czech players under his fire. That is a wicked shot coming in from McGregor. He'll hold high in a slot here and make the Czechs outskate him to try to get up the ice here. They're moving. Berger, really the only player that you would say could noticeably outskate the Canadians would be Mikael Geyer, but he's not getting a chance to get the puck on his stick. This is a good job by Canada.
Yeah, the Czechs need to focus on just getting entry into the Canadian zone on the outside and then worry about setting up. They're trying to force a little bit too much through the middle of the ice there, and the Canadians doing a good job of clogging it up.
This kind of pinballs around, but look at that clearance again, and it is their defenseman, Dixon, who will see that down the ice, and that ability to be so strong and elevating the puck and clearing can really nullify a lot of wrongs, can it?
It can, indeed. And the Canadians didn't really get flustered. They, the Czechs made some good plays, some good passes, but at the end of the day, they killed that penalty off and no damage was done.
They look very comfortable in doing so, and they actually can get momentum, understandably, by having such a positive penalty kill, particularly when the game is only 1 shot away. Rempel has been out there logging a lot of ice time, doing a great job on the blue line. Watch this again as it comes across, and Habel, that was as strong a shot as we have seen, and he has as good a chance to open and level this game in scoring, but he really snatches it and gets it just off a little too quickly, doesn't he?
That could have been the shot of the game that the Czechs were looking for to equalize the score late in the second period here. They really need to respond and not give anything up to Canada as the period winds down.
Inside of 2 minutes remaining in the second period, Canada with a slim 1-goal margin at the Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships. And we are ready to resume play as Captain Greg Westlake looks on. And the face-off right here at center. No, there has not been a goal. It is still just the one goal belonging to Billy Bridges. And look at how tight the scoring chances are. Look at that one there as it comes in. And those shots from the neutral zone, they are as dangerous as anything. As you continue to see a battle, and Geyer is matching up. Geyer's been holding Bridges' arm. I'm surprised there's a non-call there.
I can't believe there was no penalty right there. The ref is staring right at the play. It looked like a hook of the arm, clear as day, but no call by the referee.
Delaney and Kubesh will work for possession of this puck. Delaney has taken a couple penalties himself, needs to keep his emotions in check. Out front, Westlake was the intended target. It will go right through, and the Czechs will start making their way, trying to link up with Geyer. Geyer then actually going off and taking a line change. He's expected he might have really been in hot pursuit to put a forecheck on the Canadian defense. They'll come out comfortably, though. And this is a wide side play. Westlake, he just puts it a little too far ahead, but Delaney will keep skating. He'll try to catch up with it. Westlake in tow. He skates past it, and immediately the Czechs will come in, and they'll take it. It'll go right through Palat, and at the moment, they wave off the icing. We are inside of the last minute here in the second period, and the 30-second countdown is on as Canada, one more time, trying to break out and do it cleanly. They try to take some possession and see if they can't get another shot in on goal. And it is turned over back. Westlake will regroup as he got an option to go right through to McGregor, and the angle was not there. Some great defensive structure again by the Czech Republic not to allow any ease of access into their own defensive zone.
That's right. They're doing a good job of just not giving Canada a whole lot of anything right here.
Trouble late. Bowden and Vapenka has to make a save, and that would have counted as it was right on the stick of Brad Bowden. And that's exactly where you would have wanted it if you're a Canadian. And Bowden is denied again by the big paw of Vapenka, and his size and his dexterity and the quickness of his hands have been outstanding for the Czech Republic.
Unbelievable. There's a bad turnover by Matichka right there to one of the best shooters in the world. Vapenka with a huge save. Czech Republic really dodged a bullet on that one.
They certainly did, and they have been in amongst it. They have been riding this one goal difference in this hockey game for a while now. We look back to the first period when Billy Bridges scored, and there was no scoring in that period. And that man there, Vapenka, is doing his job for the Czech Republic. After two, Canada still with that slim one-goal margin. They lead 1-0 in this important wrap-up game in the preliminary round. And as the plot thickens at the Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York, the 2015 IPC Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships, I'm Brent Pope, and alongside me, Taylor Lipsitz. And Taylor, we look at a very interesting prospect as we look back on the first two periods in this one.
Canada still kind of dominating the play and pushing the pace. It's 12-1 in favor of Canada in the shots category and 9-1 in the scoring chances, but just a 1-0 lead for the Canadians going into the third period. Maybe the face-off battle, 14-10 in favor of Canada, helped keeping the Czechs in this a little bit, but a surprising 0-2 on the power play for the Canadians and 0-4 for the Czechs.
We look back on the game thus far in the second period, and Bowden with a tremendous feed from Westlake as they continue to be in and around the action. Not obviously as formidable as they have been offensively. And Shola Mickey dropping the veteran blue liner, Arsenault Habel. There has been some really good collisions in this one, and equally there has been some very excited Czech play. I think they've really relished playing against the Canadians, who are the defending world champions coming into this world championship. And remember, that's as a result of winning the world championship in 2013. We've since gone through, obviously, a Paralympic cycle, and now into the next world championships as we build towards Pyeongchang in 2018, which will be the next Paralympic Games. And Corbin Watson now is, well, he has had a clean sheet. He has done his job. You wonder whether or not one goal in this hockey game changes the entire access of the Canadians' ascent to getting through to potentially that medal round or into the semifinals as we are moving through, and this being the last game of the preliminary round. And that's the tight margins in it when you are currently in a game where it's only one shot away. Yeah,
anything can happen when you're in a tight game like this. You know, one breakaway for Geyer perhaps, or you know, if the Canadians do convert and score the next goal, you know, it could really make a big difference in the momentum of the game. And everyone's in it right now. Everyone's going to bring their cards to the table here, and Michael Vapanik has done a great job of keeping the Czechs in there. He's made some big saves, and they're definitely riding on his shoulders right now.
It's interesting to watch his body language. You see the wry smile on his face, and he really actually, as the Czechs maybe are the underdogs in this particular hockey game in relation to where the Canadians have been and how they have really dominated as much as the Americans and the Norwegians really sat atop of the really sort of top 3-4 teams in the nation. Ken Babby knows, though, that this game and their position going through to the semifinals potentially is all about this period now.
Yeah, they need to win this game to secure that #1 seed in that Group A. We'll see what this top line can do. The Czechs doing a good job of keeping pace thus far. Here we go for the third period, 15 minutes to go.
And it is a big 15 minutes for the Canadians, for the Czechs equally as much. Geyer shoots it right off the face-off, and it just goes to the left of Corbin Watson in this goal. And it's a very exciting prospect for those that are just tuning in. Stay with this one, as it has the possibility of going every which way but loose. As now Bowden across the line, back to Bridges. Oh, and he's dispossessed. Here they go the other way. There's a line change, and this could be a partial 3-on-2. Habel doesn't take it cleanly, but he gets it back to Pallet. He turns it over quickly. Westlake is back to get it for Canada. And inside of the first minute here, we've already had a sequence that looks as though a little crack could open up, and that line change from the Canadians needs to be exact, particularly as the transition was made there in neutral zone.
What happened is the defenseman Kevin Rimple had dropped his stick in the far corner, but he had control of the puck, and his momentum was carrying him across the ice, so he didn't want to stop or give the puck up, and he decided to just skate to the bench so another defenseman could come on, and they were waiting on him to get there with one stick, and it created that opportunity for the Czechs.
Forecheck now for Canada in the zone. They are able to come up with a Delaney. Will come out of there, and the youngster has been, well, he's been in and amongst it all day. Taking a couple penalties. Look at that room he's got now, Delaney. Up against Vapenka. He could have gone to the backhand side, but it's a good forehand. He snuffs it out. Again, the size of Vapenka intimidating and really forcing Delaney to take a shot that he would have preferred. Possibly, he could have cut in and gone to the backhand and try to open that long side.
Michael Vapenka, 6 foot 4 inches tall, really takes up a lot of the net, and when you get that close to the crease, you really decrease your angle that you have and your choices of possible shots. And Vapenka doing a good job of just cutting down the angle there.
This is a great shift though for Canada. McGregor coming out, Vapenka covering across the lower part of the net. They need to go up, but even when they do, he's got the good glove hand too. He's been able to freeze it, and he's come outside of that paint area. And just talking about that crease area, talk a little bit about the differences here as we watch this play develop again. It is good defense by the Czech Republic, but McGregor, Dorian, and Delaney, a great shift for Canada.
In international play in ice sledge hockey, we still use the full half circle crease, and you can see the blue area which is painted. That's what the stand-up hockey is using nowadays in the college game and the NHL. But in international sled hockey, we're still using the full crease there. It can kind of throw people off whenever you see the two different colors painted in there, but it is the full crease.
And that goes back to the penalty shot that was taken by Greg Westlake, and it was assessed against Berger of the defense for the Czech Republic, and he made that play, getting the puck and putting it out. Here is a little bit of an opportunity for Mikhail Geyer to put some pressure on, but very calm and cool is Dixon on the blue line. Sorley will just chip it in and allow Block to apply the forecheck.
Dixon's so calm on the back end for the Canadians.
Look at that shot there, and that was Shola-Mickey. And again, though, it's the body language, really, and the statement that Vapenka makes with his body language, that even when you want to fire it hard, I've got a glove here that will take care of business equally so.
He's making a lot of these saves seem pretty casual, just snagging it with the glove and tucking it into his side there, waiting on the whistle. He's made a lot of big saves this game so far, and he's building confidence with every single one. He
is, and he's got his back to the post there, again, leaving that whole wide side open and relying on his glove. He's that confident that he can use it, but then he'll take away the majority of the bottom half of the net too when it looks like there's going to be trouble and maybe the puck might squirt out. And so he is very difficult to break down. This is Krupicka, who will just cycle back and wait to see what his best option is out into the neutral zone. And Dixon just steady build up here, controlling it. Oh, he's going to step across. This could be dangerous now as Dixon's still going. He's got some room, but he is cut off. Some great work to support Kubish, allowing the defenseman to come in, and then he came across and just at the right time made sure there wasn't any further momentum. Motichka having to just come across the line as one of his players already carried momentum in before the puck. And that is often a case, isn't it? Straddling that blue line, so much more difficult because you have to work around all the other defensive sleds that are in the way as well.
That's exactly right. When your teammates are trying to read you and you're going into the zone and you all of a sudden decide to make a shift to the right or left down the blue line, you oftentimes see players going off sides unintentionally. And in sledge hockey, we can't drag our back foot across the blue line waiting for that puck to get across. Once you commit, you're basically going over and you got to come back to the neutral zone and regroup or go off sides.
And you could see that conversation going on there between Shafranek also as well, as this is a big battle off the draw. Bowden will take it. It is back to the blue line. Arsenault and down low, and it's to Bowden, but immediately there really is no room to be created for this lineup that had a whole lot of scoring opportunities in the first couple games. And it is a different prospect in this one, as this is a battle of attrition. Look at that there, though. That is in and over the goal. And if they can just control the distance there, you would feel that Vapenka was capable of taking it down with the glove. But again, why not ask a question and make it difficult, as particularly from a distance, the puck can get lost in the eyesight of in the bleachers here as far as the background, and it can be difficult to track.
Definitely. We haven't really seen a whole lot from that #1 line of Canada. They've been on the ice, but not a whole lot of quality scoring chances other than that goal that Billy Bridges put in on the backhand. Most of the chances we've seen them from the Canadians that come from that McGregor and Delaney line. So just a little interesting to keep an eye on that first line to see if they might be able to get something going here for the Canadians.
They're a good energy line, and what they do is they just try to outwork the Czech defense, don't they? And that is so important. It's all about puck possession and equally just trying to wear them down. And that's a different dimension to what we normally see out of that line of Bowden, Westlake, and Bridges, who rely on opportunities being presented to them, and they get encouraged by puck possession. But this is a line that's grinding opportunities right out front. Dorian, a shot, Vapenka, rebound, another one, and that is outstanding work from Vapenka to deny the Canadians.
Unbelievable save by Vapenka. He had to go down and commit to the shot from Dorian, and then the rebound came right out to Ben Delaney. And another great glove save by Vapenka. Just had the glove in the right spot at the right time. He traps it against his pad there. couldn't control the rebound. Delaney right on the doorstep, but couldn't bang it in.
That's as good a sequence as the Canadians have had in this hockey game. Bridges, who has made it count, is the only goal in it, and that was back in the first period. We're in the third. We'll be right back. Block in on the draw up against Rawl. An important face-off just after that. Flurry of activity on Vapenka. Out front, this is Sorty all alone. He's trying to get it up to his stick, and he had it in the sled, and really just difficult just to ply it out of there as he was almost ahead of himself. And that's one of those difficult plays, just getting yourself set and ready. Sholomicki, a shot once again. Kubish in the way for the Czech Republic. Tropichka coming down. The Canadians will maintain possession. Dixon, this is a good move. He's got to get himself back upright on his skates. He does it, and he'll just get it into an area, allow the Canadians to compete for it again. It'll come out, and Vapenka one more time is equal to it as inside of 10 minutes remain in this third period. And as tight a hockey game as we have had in these World Championships thus far.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Canadians have pretty much been rolling the three lines the whole game against the Czechs here. And in game day one against the Japanese, we saw Kin Babby going with this #1 lineup every other shift. So it's interesting that they haven't gone to that, every other shift for the Greg Westlake, Bowden, and Billy Bridges line to try to get them some more breathing room.
They are there now, and they are battling, and they just haven't seen a lot of their speed, have we? We've seen the Czech defense able to smother them and close them down. It's 2-on-2. They really need to come up with something to come out of there with it, and it's a hand pass indicated by the official. No penalty on the play. And this is a line that just hasn't had a lot of speed, have they? Every time they have had the puck, equally the Czech defenders have been able to step up, mirror them, and make sure that they were marked, and they have been able to retain their speed and keep it under control.
Yeah, even though they haven't had the speed going, they've still been shooting the puck 17-1 in favor of Canada. But I think what we saw the other day in day one from the Canadians, and this line specifically, is they were letting the puck do the work for them. So when you let the puck do the work for you and you're making crisp passes tape to tape, it makes you look a lot faster as well. So maybe we're just seeing them a little off sync this evening, and the pass is just not as crisp, and therefore they're having to circle back more than they'd like to.
Arsenault just trying to get it around. Bowden will work. Herbeck doing a great job. The blue liner up to Westlake. They've connected. Westlake one-on-one against Havel. Has he got him turned around? Is he in a position to shoot? He should be now. There it is. Vapenka makes the save. It's down low. It's into the corner. And a good opportunity there for the Canadians. But Vapenka, again, really enjoying almost every shot that comes in on him and getting stronger and stronger with each opportunity.
And we're seeing the Czech defensemen and forwards do a really good job back-checking, which is really helping Vapenka out because they're taking away a lot of those prime scoring chances.
McGregor goes by, and it's a blocker save again from Vapenka. And he had room to the long side. Delaney will corral it, keep it in. He's done a good job to get it back into this corner. Kubish and Delaney, just a little bit of a bump on the play, trying to get the puck. It's the most important thing in front. That could have easily gone off the Canadian into the goal. No penalties on the play. The referee right on it, allows play to continue through the neutral zone. Look at that. That's an interesting one from Dixon as he just kind of scoops that one up, gets it away. And that's so often the case. The body position in which the players come into that puck in an engagement zone determines how they want to play it, and obviously where they're going to play it. As they work now, the Czechs, and they find a way just to keep this puck in the zone. Now the Canadians are having to be resourceful and working to get it out. That's a great job by Delaney.
Good job just to get it up and chip it out of the zone. A little too much on it, so it is going to be an icing call, but they were running around a bit there, so not a bad play.
Almost to the halfway point of this third period, and Vapenka is doing his job. This was from Bowden up to Westlake. Westlake has Havel turned around. He gets a good shot off here. Vapenka equal to it, and he's out closing that angle. He's so aggressive, so high above that crease area.
You can live and you can die by that aggressiveness, and today it's paid off for Vapenka.
Geyer, we haven't seen as much equally out of him either. And this is Dixon and Geyer against each other. Quickly, Corbin Watson trying to snatch that when he can't. It is in behind the Canadian goal one more time. Delaney doing a great job getting more and more ice time, or certainly more noticeable in the ice time that he's had in this hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a product of that line being effective and forechecking and creating turnovers in the Czech zone. And like you said, they've increased in ice time over the last few games, and I feel like they've had the best chances come from that line today.
A couple icings, though, on the shift, so they've got to be tired. The youngsters with the, well, hopefully still some energy left for Canada to take this face off, and it's a late, long line change. The referee sending the Czech players back as they're taking a little bit too much time, and you wonder whether that's management, strategic management of the clock, rather than using a timeout. But Canada win the face off, and they'll take it in behind their own net. This is Dixon. Dixon up. It does get out of the zone. Icing's going to be waved off, and then the Canadians will make that long-awaited line change.
A good play by Dixon just to put it right towards the Czech defender, forcing him to at least be able to make a play on the puck and negate the icing, allowing the Canadians to change. Just a good veteran play to get his guys off the ice.
Berger up to Palat. He can't connect to him, and it is muted out. This is clear, though. Geyer in a dangerous position for the Czech Republic. Over the glass, or over the bar, off the glass, and he had some heat on that one. Corbin Watson, though, closing down the angle, not giving him much to look at.
He had about 6 inches of net to shoot at, and unfortunately couldn't get it in the small space that Watson provided.
Block. Can he get a play up for Sholomicki and release him? Sholomicki up against Herbeck. And he's got 3 players in which to take on, and great job again by the Czech defense. But is there a late play here? It's up and over, and it bounces off the defender. Sorely was coming into the play. It was a good shot to take by Sholomicki just to create that offensive momentum and the possibility of a redirection and a change in the last second. And because Vapenka, if you're just going straight up against him, he almost seems unbeatable now.
Yeah, exactly. The closer you get to him, the bigger he looks. And Sholomicki did a good job of essentially doing a stutter step in a sled right there, just acting like he was going to slow down or possibly turn back, and then turning back towards the net to take a good shot.
Arsenault has kept it in. He just bumps it enough, but Habel gets it up to Krupicka. Krupicka just wants to get it in the zone. They make a couple of changes on that shift, and we are inside the last 6 minutes of this third period. This is a game that could potentially go to extra time. Krupicka, though, it's all into balance in these remaining minutes. Shafranek trying to spin and fire. Turned up to Kieran Block. And Block has got Sholomicki. He's got some room. Westlake, though. Westlake has got an opportunity across to Sholomicki. This looks promising for Canada. Oh, and the offload is just maybe a pass too many. And the Czechs get back and intercept it. And quickly will take the transition game the other way.
Again, we're seeing 4 Czech Republic players coming back checking, not allowing the Canadians to get that odd man rush. We got an icing call just a little too far for the Czechs right there.
The officials quickly to make certain that the players that were on the ice stay on the ice on this icing call. This is Geyer, though, coming right in a perfect position, that right lane, and he just goes, as you say, up and to the right of the goal, and he had a little bit of a window there. He wanted to at least test the glove of Corbin Watson in that situation.
Yeah, we've seen Geyer score a couple of goals where he did put the puck in.
Oh, it's off the post! And that was Dixon from a distance, and he actually goes over the body, trying to use the glove. It goes across the grain there, Vapenka, and he misses it. There it is! And it goes in this time. And Canada, from long distance, do finally get the benefit of continuing to get the shots in on goal.
Little bad luck on Dixon on that point, that shot from the point going off the post, but then comes right back and gets a little lucky bounce off. It looked like Billy Bridges' legs right up over Vapenka. That's what happens when you get in front of the net.
And I think Bridges will get credit for it, but Vapenka looks on and kind of startled, and it gets in there, in and out that quickly. Again, the shot from Dixon on the blue line, and it's elevated by Bridges, who comes across and last second direction, and that's a great play, and that is done by design.
Perfect timing by Bridges. Dixon was waiting for him to cross the net, put it right in the lane, and got a good deflection from Bridges. Canada up 2-0 with just over 4.5 minutes left.
That's a crucial goal. Geyer from the outside, and Canada have been wanting and grinding away to get that goal and doing just enough to keep this scoreline in check and keep a clean sheet themselves until they finally get a little bit of luck. And they do on that play. Bowden, Westlake, Bridges, coming forward. And look at all the Czech defenders. What a great play there to control it. Is there a hat trick in the cards? Vapenka denies Bridges for his third of the game.
Great save by Vapenka there, just squaring up to Bridges, who has a hard shot from both hands, left and right. He had to switch to his left there and got a good shot off, but Vapenka able to catch up to it.
Calm delivery of the puck out of their own zone and very steady approach as Bridges to Bowden. And this is the most we have seen this line be in sync in this hockey game. The most they've had room, really, as Bowden. A little bit of a whiff on that one. He'll go back to Bridges. He's got puck support. Bridges has still got it. He'll come out. He'll get it to Bowden if he's open, but now he's got McGregor right in the slot by himself if they can get it to him. But Bowden hemmed against the boards, and Motichka with a good job. Bowden comes back, though, again, giving himself life on a second crack at it here. He'll just hold it, and it's in a great position just to do so.
You can just see the agility that Bowden has, just weaving back and forth, pretty much wearing Motichka out there. He was just playing with him while the Canadians changed some players. You have Delaney McGregor out here now.
There is a wicked blast up and over the bar again. That's McGregor. And the Canadians have been re-energized as a result of their second goal, and they're starting to move forward again.
We knew that it would come eventually. We thought it might have been sooner rather than later, but under 5 minutes left here in the period, and Canada seems to have turned it on here.
Delaney just redirects that one out into the neutral zone, and it has been a long time in the coming, and sometimes that makes it more and more difficult. Maybe not necessarily to score it, but just to maintain that one goal lead is because they were only just a mistake away from being level. And the Canadians, though, have stayed with it, have been purposeful in their play, and have kept to their game plan. But now it's Berger with the puck in the offensive zone. Is he going to move it across to Herbeck? No, he'll put it down low. Through the middle, though, McGregor could go. Herbeck will battle to get back into position. Maybe McGregor losing his angle here, but he's got strength in numbers. A shot from the outside, followed up by Delaney, who stays with it. And Delaney, for me, has been the best two-way hockey player in this game.
Without a doubt, I've been talking about it all game, how this line has created so many opportunities and so many chances for the Canadians. They haven't necessarily put the puck in the net, but they created sustained pressure the whole game.
Canada were lucky not to be penalized for too many players on the ice, as the player coming on almost touched it, and the player he was replacing hadn't left the ice yet. We're inside of 2 minutes, though, in this third period. Is it going to be the game as Whitson gets bumped off the play? Kieran Block will move it forward. He gets bumped. Sorley needs to come in, and he hits him a little bit from behind. No call on the play. It's going to be moved over quickly right into position here for Motichka from the outside. Corbin Watson, though, comfortably gets the blocker down, and he'll settle down his Canadian defense, and they'll take a whistle and a face-off.
Motichka didn't get much on the shot, but Corbin Watson was ready for it either way. You saw Derek Whitson doing a lot of the work behind the net there. Whitson is actually an assistant coach for the Canadian women's sledge hockey team.
And this is Motichka with the chance coming in. And Watson has been very comfortable, and he's done his, and that's only the second shot of the game. And it's hard to believe, isn't it, really, for how long the Czechs have hung around in this competition, that the shooting and the scoring chances have been so lopsided in favor of Canada.
Yeah, it seems like they've worked really hard today, and seems like they've created good pressure and even hemmed Canada in their own end a few times, but just not generating any offense off of it. No shots, you know, like you see, 2 shots on goal and no goals as of yet. I guess that's just a testament to Canada's defense in their own zone, doing a good job of keeping everything outside.
Breeza for the Czech Republic calling a timeout, wanting to maximize at least the structure and the game plan, making sure there's clarity within his troops as they potentially may be pulling Vapenka. That'll be interesting. Vapenka looks to be making his way back towards the Czech goal, and he's kind of circling around right now. It looks like he will stay on the ice, but it's hard to tell. Off he goes. There will be 6 outskaters now for the Czech Republic for the remainder, or until maybe Canada's able to get an empty net goal.
Something to keep an eye on here. I don't believe there's ever been a sledge hockey goalie score a goal in international play, so Corbin Watson possibly with a chance right here to fling one down on net.
Can he do a Ron Hextall or a Martin Brodeur in stand-up hockey? Well, he'll be just glad, I think, to get himself a victory here, as this has been in the balance for a long time. Bridges, though, trying to work himself in position. Dixon, he can score. Give Dixon a chance, and he'll loft it, but he doesn't get the balance in which to do so. And closing down on 1:15 now remaining in this third period. And Canada are 6 against 5. They are down, disadvantage as a result of the goaltender, and that'll be wide from Westlake as he has a go. He just gets over that red line. Bridges just circles away. They are a long distance, though, the Czech Republic from scoring against Corbin Watson, as the Canadians have them hemmed in their own zone.
They don't seem to have any organized plan or offense to get out of their own zone and come down here and create pressure. They're just kind of all skating over the place.
Rempel gets it up to Bridges, up to Westlake. Is there another goal in the cards? Maybe this time for Bowden. Look at Bowden. And that's just a player who understands the importance of just keeping the puck in an area where, in fact, the Canadians can control the Czech Republic and how they want to break out.
Great veteran play by Brad Bowden. They're not worried about getting a goal for himself, just worried about doing what's best for the team, getting the puck deep and wasting more time off the clock.
Good job. McGregor will battle the Czechs as they just dump it in, but the first one to it is Adam Dixon. Needs to be careful here. He's just controlling it while he's flat on his belly. Westlake bumped off the puck, but enough Canadians are back. And almost bounces in a Corbin Watson. And I think there'll be maybe a little bit more time than the 0.4 of a second still remaining on the clock.
Yeah, they almost got a lucky bounce there to wipe away the 0, but Watson still on his game.
And we'll see if there's going to be any added time onto the clock. It doesn't look as though there will. There's 0.4 of a second, and everybody is exchanging still. The empty net, obviously, with Vapenka out. And the Czech Republic here just setting up for one last dying effort to see if they can't get one on the board. The puck is dropped, and that is it. And Canada will finish top of Group A as a result of the victory. And really an interesting game in that Canada didn't get a chance to unleash the offense that we've seen so far in this tournament, but did as good a job as they needed to, and obviously as well as you can do. They didn't concede a goal today, even under difficult circumstances where they were only one shot ahead.
They found a way to win, and that's what good teams do. It doesn't matter how many goals you win by, but they got the W, finished 3-0 in the preliminary rounds here, and they'll be ready for the crossover against the number 2 seed from Group B.
And there you see the body language from the Czech Republic. They know that they will not be competing now for a medal in these World Championships. And maybe when they look back on game day 1 when they played against Norway and they didn't get the result there 3-1, maybe in the back of their minds they knew it then.
Yeah, if they would have played against Norway like they did against the Canadians today, there's no doubt in my mind that they would have beaten them that day. So possibly something you look back and you say, what if?
And that's the importance of starting the tournament as well as you can. Remember, though, they were leading against the Norwegians, and Mikael Geyer, as we just saw on the screen there, scored the goal of that game to get it started. But for the Czech Republic today, who do you see as their player of the game?
It better be Vapenka. He stood on his head today. He made some amazing saves, dead on, one-on-one, some couple of odd man opportunities against this potent Canadian offense that, put 17 goals up against Japan.
We'll see, and there is the announcement as predicted. Mikael Vapenka was great, and he was removed from that hockey game against Norway in game day 1, and you wonder whether at that point they decided they were going to focus on this particular hockey match. But very interesting how the goaltending situation was managed for the Czech Republic in this tournament.
Definitely, but a good job by Vapenka to come back and have a great game.
He was awesome, and he had, well, it all to deal with 21 shots, and he lets in 2 of those as the Canadians respectively acknowledge just how strong and just how good he was today in the goal. As now for Canada, your thoughts on who's player of the game?
Got to be Billy Bridges. He won the game for him today with his 2 goals.
And he gets a pair, and Billy Bridges comes right over, and he is going to collect the player of the game trophy for Canada. And that second goal, that was huge, wasn't it? Because Canada had been waiting a long time to potentially get that one, and it arrives off of a shot from the point, Dixon, and him just being in a good position at the right time, wasn't he?
Exactly right, and that came not shortly thereafter, that great chance by Geyer, so you never know what can happen, and Billy bearing down and putting one in the back of the net to create a little breathing space for his team.
And in respect of the Canadians, we will now stand for the playing of the Canadian National Anthem. a very workmanlike performance maybe is the best way to characterize that win by Canada as we look back across the stats of this hockey game.
And they got it done. 21-3 shots in favor of Canada, 16-3 scoring chances, 24 face-offs won, and didn't convert on the power play, but all that matters is the 2 goals to 0.
They got the job done as Corbin Watson again with a clean sheet, Bowd early, and that line of Westlake, Bowd, and Billy Bridges, a different complexion to how they played today, or how Canada was forced to have to play today against the Czech Republic, who did a great job in front of that man, Vapenka. And that goal, though, how key was that to get that in the first period and to establish that lead? Because if it had gone scoreless for longer, it really would have maybe changed just how this game would have finished up.
That's exactly right. Canada, you know, relying on that top line to get it done, and Billy Bridges bears down and shows what kind of goal scorer he can be, and he took his team to victory today.
And Canada applied the pressure. And this here a play, Dixon, who is dynamic on that Canadian blue line, doing his job equally offensively, contributing to what effectively became the second goal of the game for Billy Bridges and for Canada, which really cemented this win late in the third period. They had all the pressure, and Geyer did the best that he could for the Czech Republic. But in the end, this goal here really breaking the backs of the Czech hopes in trying to move through into the medal round. And Canada will now, as a result, as we look at the score there, Dixon and Rempel getting assists on the play at 10:08 in the third period. And Billy Bridges all smiles, another couple goals. Canada are through to the semifinals. And it's been an exciting match here. They have done the job they needed to do and that they came here to do. That's the end of the preliminary round for the Canadians and the Czechs. You've been watching 2015 IPC Ice Sledge Hockey World Championships from Buffalo, New York. I'm Brent Pope, and for Taylor Lipset, hope you enjoyed the action.